Hello, good evening and welcome to round 4 of the Slip and Grip GT2 Championship. Round 4 means we are on races 7 and 8. This evening brought to you from Zolder. So we have 10 cars in this evening so far. Hopefully a couple more join throughout the rest of the qualifying session. But for the time being, it is Ant Brown that leads the way. We have rain on the radar, however this session does not run far enough for us to hit the rain. So what that means for the subsequent sessions, race 1 and 2, we will find out in due course, the drivers having to make the changes to adapt to the rain as it comes in. So as I said, 12 minutes left. Ant Brown just starting a flying lap. Ant's been very strong in the qualifying session so far, I think. Is he the only pro in? Let's have a quick look a little further down the field and we'll see who else is in. I think we've got a Joe Challoner. So unfortunately only 2 pro drivers thus far. Got a basic HUD up, that's no good. We want broadcasting, there we go, we look more like a stream and we can see our list, our overall list. There we go then, who is on a flyer? Sam Waldridge looks like he's a fair way into a lap. Harrison Fulton. Actually I think Joe, yeah it was Joe. Joe the first to get across the line. I think that's the laziest camera there. Aaron Sterrett also joining us again this week. Out the final turn he goes. God, blimey, Joe's lap. 0.1 ahead of Harrison, but then 2.3 ahead of Chris Rock. So that's quite the distance. Let's see how Ant Brown is doing. Oh! 3,000th of a second faster than Joe, so a little sideways there, got a bit crossed up. Let's just Harrison Fulton looks like he's half a second up. The lead silver at the moment in the Maserati. Big braking zone here. We saw a couple of drivers struggling to get the car stopped last time out at Red Bull Ring. We thought we were getting quite heavily into the ABS, causing the guys to push on, so we shall see how that one goes. Harrison out the final turn. It's a good improvement. So the tyre's taken a couple of laps to come in. Oh, Joe Challoner there. Sorry, I didn't clock Joe chasing Harrison down. He's probably had quite a nice toe and manages to go 0.1 faster. Sam Waldridge comes through turn 1. He improved on his last lap up to a 31.6. Chris Rock and Alexio Gappa in the pits at the moment. Chris Rock just heading out. John Walker also back with us this week. His normal number 66 showing on the car as we're under 10 minutes. The track also potentially ramping up. Just keep an eye at the top right of your screen. So it's currently labelled as fast. The track looks like it's had rain. I know the practice session was damp earlier on. It's in the same time period, so we keep an eye there. Joe Challoner 3 seconds off. There he is. Harrison is improving on this lap. Oh, he's a little slow out of the hairpin. Let's see how much he attacks the chicane here. Not too much curb. These cars not liking the curbs from the messages I've been seeing. Looks like it could be a match of the Delta. Yeah, point 0.2 off. That didn't show on my timing screen though. So Harrison not quite improving as much as he would have wanted to. Sam Waldridge improves to a 30.8, closing the gap down. Just needs to find that last second. Evening, Craig. We'll try and keep an eye on Harrison, so I assume from your message you aren't racing. Could do with finding a power lead, because I'm using my phone to watch the chat, and that's going to run out of battery pretty soon. So Ant was just squaring up for the next lap. That one wasn't improving. The track's still showing us fast. I don't know if we've got enough cars lapping to progress the track for it to evolve in the time span we have left. We'll keep an eye. We shall find out. Ant's managed to find 0.4 so far, so if it's still valid, just got to watch for the yellow flag ahead. No rules in this for backing off. You send it into a yellow. Oh, I hear the tyres squealing. Obviously, on a longer run, that's not what you want from the car, but actually, probably could be quite effective in the qualifying session. We're 0.5 up. Joe Chandler still that fair distance away. You see the car unsettled by the bumps. It's certainly going to close the gap. Indicative times look good. It's closed. Harrison down to third. Just got that 0.1 to find a Joe. Both Joe and Harrison have taken new tyres, so they're coming out for another go. Aaron just looking to find a bit of time. Gapper completes a lap for a 1:33. Apologies, Gapper. I've just seen the name of your livery and then just realised you sent me an updated monster livery. I've only got the base colours showing, so apologies for that one. Jurich heads on to another lap. Nearly matching Chris Rock there. Lead of the AMs thus far. Very good. Showed good pace last week. Down the back straight goes. He's already found 0.3. Talking of finding 0.3. There goes Ant. So Ant potentially with a bit of a tow on that last lap. Absolutely flying. So he's found his rhythm. The track coming in for him. Joe Chandler currently matching Delta. This is the slowest camera. And to the pits, potentially for a new set. We'll see if he comes back. Across the line for Joe, closes the gap. We're under a 10th, just not quite enough for the number one car. Ant coming out of the pits. Big sideways from Joe. It's flamboyant, but I'm not so sure it's fast. I stand to be corrected. John Walker's improving. Yeah, his last lap. Just got 0.1 to Chris now. Harrison there, tucked up under the wing of one of the Monster Energy cars. Yeah, that is Gapper, who is entitled to hold position. Harrison's got to find his own space. Just hopefully not committing to any sins. There's Joe going deep, so he's gonna back off, set up for the next one. Now Harrison might be a bit close to Gapper here. Gapper is about 3 seconds off. Yeah, Gapper improves to be 2.6 off, so that's Gapper up to 7th. That's good to see. That is still 2.6 off, so right, he's ditched it into the gravel, and Harrison is up and through. That's Harrison with a bit of clean air now. Ant on an out lap. So Ant starts a lap. Joe's back to pits. 2 minutes 15 left on the clock. Yeah, Joe keen to get away. He's 2 minutes, including the pit exit. Should be okay. Yeah, he's going to get round with about 2 minutes to spare. 2 minutes? No, he's not driving a DeLorean. 20 seconds to spare. Ant's half a second off, so maybe a couple of laps to get the tyres in. Doesn't bode well for Joe trying to take pole. If he's just on an out lap. He's desperately trying to warm the tyres. There you are. Harrison 0.1 down. Sam Waldridge improving well. There he is. He's got 0.4, so could extend the gap to Chris Rock. We've got quite a bit of field spread outside of that top three. But for the Silvers, that's a really good showing for Harrison. Across the line, yeah, brings it within a second of the leaders. Into the 30s. Just needs to tip it into the 29s. But yeah, healthy gap to 5th. John Walker to get ahead of Chris Rock. Not quite. Oh, 2,000th slower on that last lap. So John Walker with the consistency. We just need the improvement. Your bottom 4 all in the pit. So it's John who's really trying to improve. The others just feeling that they found their position. Joe's found a 10th in the first corner. Sam Waldridge has found 0.2. It's coming down. Unsettles the car there across the chicane. Over the rise and fall. Tricky braking now into another chicane. Got to get it slow enough and take just the right amount of curb. Thrown wide, so didn't quite get it slowed down enough there. John's fighting this Maserati. The rear unsettles there. You see it bouncing. Now another rise and fall. The big braking zone we were talking about earlier. Trying not to get too deep into the ABS. John there scrubbing the front round, a little delayed on power, it would feel. Ant's down on his time just ahead, has taken the flag. Joe's binned it off, so yeah, it's Sam Waldridge taking the flag as well. So John Walker is the last car to bring it across the line. Can he get ahead of Chris Rock for the start? He can indeed. A nice improvement there for John on the final flying lap of qualifying. Now then, let's roll the dice on the weather. And it looks like Ant has reduced the session start time from 5 minutes to 3. Thank goodness. So looking at the weather forecast, this first race is 20 minutes, the second will be an hour long. This first race will remain dry. The track currently fast, so the track is going to evolve and the weather is going to remain the same. We are slightly cooler than the previous session. Drivers will take that into account when adjusting their setups and preparing the car for the first 20 minutes. Tyres shouldn't be an issue within this time. The question on tyres will be in the second race, which this evening will run for a duration of 60 minutes. There we go then, the timer counts down to 0 and it's Ant Brown that's going to lead them away eventually. There he goes. Ant Brown leads the field away. Got a driver back to the pits, which is not what you really want to see. So that's Aaron Sterrett that's going to start from the pit lane. There we go then. The driver's just heading down the back straight, if we want to call it that, just to the rear of the paddock. Minimal weaving this week. I think they're making use of the brake to get the heat in. So the old timing board resets, everything's back to 0. Let's see how these guys fare with 20 minutes of fuel in the tank. I think the real test will be the hour-long stint. Be nice to have all 10 by the end of it. Could be a little quiet. Yeah, hopefully we see a few battles. It'd be a shame if this were to get a little too strung out. A cone goes flying in the background. Hopefully no one was using that to judge their track limits, because the movable furniture is long gone. We'll also see what happens at turn 1, because also it's quite a tight turn, but if you can hang it around the outside, it will give you the inside for the following right-hander. The number 7 will have the controls locked for a little while and then try and play catch up to the field. So yeah, hang it around the outside, potentially working to get down the inside, but the inside for turn 2 is an ever-closing door, the kink to the right before the actual main corner. A pinch point we've seen in previous seasons. There we go then, let's get away from the track map, jump into the helicopter, and we shall keep an eye on the sends. Our focus will be Joe Challoner.
Green line. Go, go, go.
There we go. So the green is called. Joe gets a good run to the outside of Ant. Can he hang it round? There's the pinch point. They switch sides. So can Joe hang it round? He's going to be blocked to the outside. That could open the door for Harrison. No particular dives this time. Further back. Yeah, we're getting on okay. I think everyone's through. Gapper hanging to the outside. I think Igor's just run a little wide. Van der Stucken making progress off the start. He's had that one place off of Igor. My timing screen's just updating, so it'll take me a moment to just click back to the front. Ant's gone deep, he's back on. Put that one to the stewards, gaining a lasting advantage by leaving the circuit. So Joe Challoner there closing in for second. A bit further back, John Walker under pressure. Chris Rock in the Mercedes still side by side with him, a little touch of contact. John tucks back in and they get on the power, but this is dropping them off of that lead pack already. We're seeing battles. Is Gapper lining up a move? Oh no, Chris Rock's gone wide. Oh, they sandwich at the back. They've all just concertinaed up. So that's Van der Stucken damaged. Chris Rock takes a bit of damage too, and Igor involved. That's meant good things for Aaron. He is back with the field. And Brown absolutely trying to make a break. Harrison Fulton leaves the door open, just enough room, but the wider line able to carry more speed, and that's not allowing Sam Aldridge alongside. What it is doing is slowing these two up. Wonderful cut back there for Sam Aldridge. Up and through. Harrison wasn't able to get on the power. All the power he did put on pushed him wide, not quite sure. But there we go then. Back straight awaits John Walker now under pressure from Gapper. We've got a Fulton off. Was there contact? Brakes later. Yeah, punt. Unfortunate late break into the back of Sam Waldridge there. Harrison just not finding his braking point. Tucked up behind the rear wing of the KTM. So contact made and ground lost. Dan van der Stucken is in the wall. How's that happened? Oh, it was the grass on the way in. It's the gravel on the way out. Down into the chicane. Oh, it's the ramp. It's the ramp on the chicane has sent him into the wall. So that's Van der Stucken out of the race. And went down to 9 drivers after a lap. So there we go then. Ant Brown at the front. Joe Challoner holding on, trying to go after him. 0.4 off on the last lap. After the earlier ding dong with Harrison, Sam Aldridge now third. There is Harrison, so a little bit of front end damage on that car, hopefully not detracting from the car's performance. We'll see how he gets on versus John Walker, who is now closing in, managing to shake off Alexio Gapper. Gapper over the rise and fall. Heads into the chicane. Chris Rock there trying to close the gap. So then Igor through the hairpin. Aaron Sterrett just making progress towards Igor, just closing the gap up. Wide line taken there by Ant. Making use of all of the track. Of course, if Joe was any closer, that would be an opportunity. These guys matched each other, but Joe was half a tenth quicker on the last lap, so matching each other for now. Top four still all inside of each other. Top five. John Walker can still see these guys just ahead. The risk taken through the chicane there. You see what happens when it does all go wrong. There is Dan in the chat. Changed graphic settings. Was worse than last week. That's really unfortunate, Dan. No, thanks for letting us know. We saw you hit that curb, but if it was at a low frame rate, then yeah, well, racing games you really feel it, don't you? If your frame rates aren't where they need to be, that's unfortunate. Have a practice, have a test in single player. See if you can get a better frame rate and make it back for race 2. That'd be brilliant if you could. There we go then. How do the lap times of Ant Brown and Joe Challoner compare on that last lap? So it was Ant's personal best, and Joe managed to get it down to a 29.5, but it wasn't valid. So Joe pushing the limits to try and get ever closer to the back of Ant Brown. Harrison was nearly a second faster than Sam on that last lap, so that could come to a head at some point. That could come to a point. We've seen Joe mighty quick in previous rounds. He's always had Matt Davies to contest the positions with, and a little hesitant on the throttle there. It's like the car didn't want to rotate. Joe's had a nice clean run, so let's see how we do down into the hairpin. It just sounds like the KTM is working harder to have its pace, and I think that's what we're seeing further back. Harrison able to drive towards the back of Sam. .3, we're down a tenth. These have broken free of third and fourth, so it means they're going to be able to fight and not worry too much about being held up. They are, of course, the only pro drivers in the race. So even... of course, there's an overall championship, but even from a pro perspective, Ant electing to go defensive already. I'm not sure if Joe would have sent it. There wasn't a flash of the lights, which is the concerning thing with Joe. You know you're okay if he's flashing the lights. It's when he doesn't, there's a send inbound. Big chunk of curb there for Ant. Desperately trying to scamper away. So we've got a few battles just shaping up here. Sam Waldridge trying to get away from Harrison. He's managing to at the moment. Gapper feeling the pressure of Chris Rock at the moment. And then Jurovic has got Sterrett for company. He's caught back up and they're running together Across the line, matched on that occasion. No opportunities. Ant still able to take that wide sweeping line. Carries good speed, a little wide. Opens the door massively to take the late apex here, as you'd expect. Let's see what the run out onto the... Ant having to optimise every corner. He's got two wheels nearly hanging off the track everywhere on the way in. There's the flash of the lights. No defence there from the Ant that time. Ant taking the greater risk with the curb. You heard the unsettled car that time. How's Harrison getting on? Bit of a gap back to Sam. Chipping away, although Sam did hold a good lap time last time. Harrison was 0.2 slower. Good power and straight line from the Mercedes there. It's just the Maserati is the better all-round package of the two. That's why it's the favourite of at least 5 of the drivers, so over half of the grid now. Oh, a little deep for Igor. Yeah, just over-rotates the car. The advertising board goes flying as Aaron heads through and takes 8th position. Harrison, it's just little mistakes like that are going to hold him back from Sam. He's got the pace. We saw him in qualifying. Well into the top of the field. Just needs to steady, settle down. Relax and let the lap time come to him. He can get the work done later on. Again there, the KTM having to do what Ant was doing and maximize. Harrison's just into the ABS, runs a little deep. T1, the KTM running slightly wide. Now then, drive out of here. Relatively balanced. Run the car out to the left. There's a touch of the curb. Yeah, that's mid-apex, good rotation. Little touch of the curb on the way out. We've had a good run this time. Flash the headlights, why not? Closing towards the braking zone, but this time braking. Oh, we had 2 stabs there. I think we were on brake and releasing slightly and then just carried a little deep. Let's get it stopped for this one. Yeah, backs off nice and early. It's not going to be an overtaking point, so no need to try and be the last of the late breakers. The drive out of here important. This is what sets up your hairpin to the right. Good drive from the KTM. Releasing the steering, letting the car run out. Closed on the braking well there, didn't unsettle the curb on the inside. Good drive out, that's progress. Towards the distraction technique. You hear the car a little hesitant, unsettled by the curbs. Not too bad, it's a nice lap there from Harrison. Good consistency within a 1/10 of the last lap. 0.2 quicker than Sam as well, so we're starting closer to the rear bumper of the car ahead. Narrower line here, watch the drive of the KTM. Just able to get on the power slightly earlier because of that lessened angle. front tyres complaining a little bit through there, but that raw pace of the Maserati. And we're flying towards the back of the KTM once again. Just a note for you, the track evolution still only on fast. Right then, the timer clicks down and we hit 5 minutes to go, so a quarter of this race still to run. And it is Ant Brown holding on at the front. He's got a little bit of breathing room to Joe Challoner, who's not been able to close in. And on the last lap, down in the 29s, Joe out into the 30s, so 1 minute 30.8. Just shy of a second away from Ant's time. Sam Waldridge, as we just saw, holding on ahead of Harrison Fulton. Little kick of the gravel again for Harrison. Then, and a bit of a race of his own, we've got John Walker. He is 3/10 off of Harrison on the last lap, but those earlier battles see him about 10 seconds off the back. He's got Chris Rock in his mirrors. Chris is not particularly closing at the moment, so these two, a bit of a gap. Then you've got Alexio Gappa. We saw the earlier incident, a little cut of the chicane there. It's alright, no one was watching. Then you've got Igor and Sterrett. Igor's managed to get back past Aaron Sterrett. So these two having a really good battle just for that final position. It's always nice when you've got, you know, it's tricky for John, who is in that little bit of no man's land. It's always far more entertaining when you've got someone to actually race and you're not just time trialing against yourself. A little deep for Igor there. He's gone defensive. And then the door is opened as we get into the braking zone. The Mercedes looks for the inside. I'm not sure it was... don't know, one for the stewards. Joe taking some risks through the chicane. As the timer ticks down, we will have the remainder of this lap. Well, maybe two more. Joe steaming into the braking zone, inspecting the diffuser of the KTM. If there was ever going to be a punt, I thought that was going to be it. Yeah, I think Ant probably held his breath. The gap really coming down. Ant's lost 0.9 this lap. Joe's got the drive out the corner. Ant's going to have to go defensive into one. So yeah, we've got 1 minute 55 left to run. So we'll get this and one more. Joe looks to the inside. You can carry a lot more speed around the outside if you don't run wide. And still got the inside for the next one. Joe squeezes him to the right hand side. Not able to get a cut back. He's going to try and hang it the long way round. And that way round just gets longer and longer. Good speed from the Maserati. And doesn't have to leave him room, but he does. And could have just ran him towards that curb. That Maserati is fast in a straight line. They're side by side. They bang doors. Joe and Ant braking at the same point. Ant trying to turn in. Joe was still down the inside. Likewise, Joe ran a little deep because he had nowhere to go and braked at the same time. So, yeah, that could have been either driver yielding there. Ant runs wide. That's going to compromise the run up and over the hill. The car unsettled by the inside curb as well and the exit curb. The KTM bobbing about all over the place. Joe thinks about a send and half a car in off the side. We saw him maximising every turn in earlier. He was running the white lines. Now he's just offsetting the car, ready to go defensive if he needs to. Look, he's late moving over. Joe not close enough. They rattle the curbs. 30 seconds left on the clock. We've got a good battle here. Drive through for Aaron Sterrett. He's probably... yeah, he's... oh, is it a wheelie? Yeah, he's jumped one too many chicanes. So there's your top two, sorry. And Ant's got a bit more breathing room. Heading on to the final lap. Has Joe missed his one opportunity, potentially? Sam Waldridge has still got Harrison for company. Sam slightly faster on that last lap, so... edging away from Harrison. There's John and Chris. Gapper and then Jurvic. And then Aaron just sorting out his drive-through so as not to get a disqualification or any additional penalty at the end of the race. So that battle coming to an end prematurely there. We go then down to the right-hand hairpin. Good drive from both. They've just got to keep it clean through the final chicane. Harrison was there somewhere. Over the... yeah. There he is. There we go then. So Ant Brown does indeed hold on to take the first race victory of the evening ahead of Joe Challoner. Sam Waldridge holds on against Harrison, who was only 0.2 back at the end, so that's fantastic from those two. John for a silver podium. Heads across the line. Chris Rock matching the pace of John towards the end of the race there. So if those two are closer on the next one, that could be one to watch. Then we have Gappa, Jurvic, and then Aaron after his drive-through, just completing his final lap. I assume you're referring to the flag, man. I'll keep an eye. God. Ouch. Good stuff. There you go then. That is race 1 complete. Hello in the chat, Gapper. So it's a drying track, so we are starting our hour-long race on a damp circuit. So the in-game weather has been damp. The first half hour of the race is not forecast any precipitation. So yeah, we've missed the rain, but the track is progressing from damp, so braking zones severely lengthened, increased. I think we could have quite a tentative start to the session. Hopefully we do. Hopefully everyone takes their time. Two minutes for the drivers to get their cars set up. Slightly lower track temperatures, as you would expect if they were damp. That's however going to progress as they dry up, and we will see what the weather does. Yeah, back in a moment. made it onto the second song. Very good. Gapper to the pits. That's a shame. Not sure what's happened there. Well, my headset has snapped, so this isn't good. So, there's the damp track we were referring to. Yeah, that's a shame. Sorry, Igor. I shouldn't really watch that back, should I? Ah, yes! The floating treat. There we go then. So the drivers form up. There's the track map. There's the helicam. So, Anne Brown well forwards in his starting position.
Green light. Go.
There we go. Away. Well, Harrison's got a sniff down the inside of Joe Challoner. Brakes later. Remember, we are on a damp circuit, so they're all treading rather carefully. But Ant is well away at the front there, and it's Harrison now under more pressure from Joe Challoner. KTM of Sam Waldridge trying to make 11s. It's very, very damp. They've got to tread really carefully as we head down to our second major braking zone of the evening. We've made it through turn 1. The timing board updates, a flash of the lights. Harrison's got the wiper on, obviously some spray showing in game. Big chunk of curb there. That means Joe Challoner's got a good run. Harrison holds the inside line. Joe's got to go all the way around the outside, but it's going to mean he brakes later, trying to get down the inside. Joe thinks better of it. So, and with a bit of breathing room at the front now, Harrison, this early progress now means he's having to defend. We saw Igor dropping it out of here. Joe with a bit of corrective steering. Joe massively sideways over the crest. Yeah, we're ice skating. Joe's down the inside. Harrison, I don't know if he didn't see him coming, but Joe a little out of control. Maybe into the ABS, but looked like he was making the apex. Harrison going for the late apex, not working, whilst other cars are battling, and yeah, drops him down back to 4th position. Rather black lines being left. John Walker trying to keep Chris Rock at bay. We said it after the last one. Oh, we've lost Gapper as well. So down to 8 cars, and we've got 57 minutes left. Jurovic and Sterrett have found each other again. So these two close on circuit once more. Let's see how we got on. Igor taking the curb in the wet is yeah, that's brave. That is brave stuff. And it's got the breathing room. He's almost 2 seconds up the road. So with the current forecast, the track will come to the drivers. It will naturally start to dry out through the 18-degree track temperature, the 16-degree ambient temperature, but also the car's driving across its surface. Remember though, the forecast is only half an hour ahead, so we need to get to the halfway point before we see anything on the radar. John Walker with a bit of front end damage there. Did we? Oh, these two have come together on the straight. Not sure how they've managed that. We're going back. We're seeing how this happened. Joe a little slow. John a little slow off the corner. Oh, Chris has just misjudged it, I think. I don't think John crept at all, and Chris just got into the back of him there. That's unfortunate for these two. That really is a shame. Joe having fun with the slip and slide. These two got going again. Not so much curb being taken now, it all feels a little bit more refined, a little more under control. That's good. That's good. These are some really tricky conditions. These guys running in the novice category, so finding their feet with ACC. Yeah, Igor just dropping it there. That's a shame. It looks like he's kept it pinned, which if you've lost it, then let it, just settle down and then get going again. That was a shame. The headlight there blinking on Aaron's Mercedes. Yeah, Joe was 0.4 off of Sam Aldridge's lap time on that time through. Sam, however, has done a rally driving course. Good mates with Tyrone, they did the course together. You could hear Joe's car and then Sam's as they come up and over the rise. John's door there, where he's rattled down the wall, that's quite a bit of damage to the right hand side of that Maserati. The two KTMs looking really strong here in the damp. Now we're greasy. We've been damp, now we're greasy. We are progressing towards dry, so given the earlier pace, you'd have thought the track would come towards Joe, and then Joe's pace would improve. Ant's just done a PB, a 34.5. Joe is still in the 35. Sam in the 36s. So, yeah, Joe, it's all quicker on that lap. But Ant, yeah, league of his own at the moment. And with it being an hour-long race, you'd like to think Ant wants to build as much buffer as possible. It was 4.4. Let's see how much he's done in the first sector. I'll come down slightly, 4.2. So I wonder if it's through this more technical middle sector with the chicane. Oh, deep for Challoner. He's not got it stopped. Saw the car just push on there. Joe's still up on his delta, so they are getting faster, just not by going deep like that. Look how much more composed the KTM is. He can get off the corner. The gap to Ant up to 4.7. Ant 0.1 off his best. Joe made it into the 34s, even braking later. So yeah, the track is definitely improving. Flash of lights from Waldridge as we head through the chicane, ramping over, the confidence growing. Everyone's massively green on their times. Hi Paul, thanks for dropping in. If you're bored, come and have a chat, because I've got 51 minutes of this. Oh, I'm not in a... Am I in a channel? I'm not in a commentary channel. Oh! Disaster. There we go. Well, I've joined a Discord channel that people can join now, so come and keep me company as Sam Waldridge gets through. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. About to go to work, unfortunately, so that's Paul not joining. Do you want to see that move again? Let's watch the move again. There's a good exit from Sam. Got the power down. Joe to the inside, defensive, probably a damper line, runs a little deep, cut back. Yeah, blinding bit of driving. That was mint. So Sam Waldridge up and through into second place. Gapper in the chat trying to fix the PC. Yeah, Craig's right. Joe's coming back. Joe's going the long way round. But there's no gap there. Yeah, Gapper, if you get back in, like Craig says, podium for yourself, and thing just died. Yeah. Not good. Not good to see. You download ACC onto your laptop. That is dedication to get a podium. Put in ACC, yeah. Just put it at minimum settings, just so you can get back in and get a podium. Drive one lap. Leave it in the pits. Brilliant. We will just stick with this battle for the time being, mainly because it is the only battle. Harrison is 5 seconds back, just off of these guys' times. These guys are now matching Ant at the front, so he's 5 seconds up the road and not getting any further away as Sam has to bail. Tentative on the throttle, gets going, so he's gone deep, gives the place to Joe. So no lasting advantage there. Sam also right to be hesitant, just to make sure he doesn't spin up the tyres. They've been through the gravel and we've still got a greasy circuit. You can see the dry line forming. Yeah, sun's coming out through the next half hour, so that has progressed. I think that was just cloudy earlier on. There we go then, as we've been live an hour, we've got about 47 minutes left. Joe's now got the opportunity to try and break away. However, Ant's done his PB on the last lap of 1:33.5, so the time's really starting to come down now. Temperature potentially, although the sun's out, won't increase because we're at 20 past 6 in the evening. Would spice things up if we could just have a bit of rain. And by a bit of rain, I'd quite like a torrential, like, thunderstorm. So we've lost a degree of track temperature. I think that's the most exciting thing to happen in the last minute. Sam is, yeah, really motoring now through that last sector. I don't know if Joe was slow or if Sam's come alive, but 0.7 taken out of Joe through the last sector. So the guy's improving all the time. Harrison there just doing a PB. All down into the 32s. Actually, Joe Challoner on his last, no, the lap before, a 32 dead. So he's improved as well. Chris Rock into the 33s, a little deep there at T1. He's managed to run away from John Walker after the visit to the wall. And then Aaron is up ahead of Igor. Sure what happened to Sam Waldridge. The last lap was a PB, but Joe's just able to creep away. He got another half a tenth on that last one. So yeah, now the track's dried up and we've progressed to green. The advantage of the KTM's gone away. Is Joe going back towards Ant? Yes, he is. They matched each other on that last lap. Joe wasn't going as quick as he had done. So this will be really encouraging for Joe, the fact he's got Ant in sight. Let's just have a look how that looked. Oh, my phone's died, so I can't even see the chat anymore. I just feel the car leaning over on that left-hand side, really weighting up the tyres and able to put the power down well out the final turn. We lean in and then a last chuck, almost looks like lift-off oversteer towards the apex. Way out to the left-hand side. Oh, the front end not wanting to go on there, it really wants the power to encourage the rotation in the car. Critical corner this. Quite the apex for Joe. Corrective steering just dips us towards the gravel. And it's green on Delta. Joe is red, but Joe's Delta is faster. We've gone deep. We're off throttle there through a lot of that. I think that's to try and avoid a cut track. Just got to guide the car coasting across the curbs. Down to the hairpin. That's interesting. It looks like the turbines point towards the wind. You watch the arrow in the top right then. Oh, didn't know. There you go. Oh, the turbine's facing the direction of the wind and spinning slower. I want to go to a windy race now to see if it's really windy. Do they spin faster? That's Gapper leaving the pits. He was in the chat earlier in the YouTube chat saying he's just re-downloaded the game onto his laptop and he's going to take the points for third in the championship. Just by being here for the next half hour. So, yeah, Gapper looking to complete his 46-minute lap time, according to my timing, Joe. How did we do on that last lap? Oh, and pulled half a second on Joe on that last one, so nothing doing. So we're now less than half an hour to go, and the forecast is the same. The track has progressed to green. Joe and Joe did his best lap on the last lap, as did Ant. They're both well into the 1 minute 30s now, so the track really progressing. The game simulating the rubber going down really, really well. Briefly had a yellow flag there. There's Sam Waldridge just in the background. He's 4 seconds back. Harrison Fulton, there he is. He's about 14 seconds back, yeah, 14.3. Chris Rock just heading through that first complex. John Walker's nursing the damaged car around. He will just want the next 24 minutes to be over. I think Gapper's on a keyboard. He is. Watch those front wheels. So we don't allow keyboard driving, but Gapper has had a computer failure, so he's on his laptop. Look at the steering input, so smooth. Gapper, if you can hear me, can you park it now, please? Because this is just dangerous. Jesus, right. There's Ant. His steering inputs. The silky smooth. Oh no, John Walker with a drive-through. He's had one too many cut track. He's also picked to fix the damage because his position's not going to drop off in his category or his class. So Joe has managed to close in on to the back of Ant Brown. He's got the gap within a second, although that does look to be concertinaing and then expanding, or ebbing and flowing as Paul would say. And there's the forecast of the rain in half an hour, so the entertainment is too late. Joe's got out of shape there. That's a big gap to Ant now. That's going to have opened up well. He'll struggle to close that in 11 minutes. That's now up to 3.5 seconds. Sam Waldridge even further back now. So Joe's had time to do that spin, but our closest gap on the field is now gone. As if Gapper just did a 139 on a keyboard. John's doing like 134s. Jurovic is doing 137s. Oh, John, what you got another drive-through for? Oh, John. So I've just opened up YouTube on the computer so I can look at the chat at the end. Yeah, John's gone. John has gone. You saw him disappear as Joe came through.
finished the race.
Oh, good. Well done, Anne. So, yeah, lights to flag for Anne. Looked like Joe was going to be able to close up, but looks like the tyres went away from him. An hour-long race, just a little too much. Then Joe, after many spins and just plodding around, comes home for second. Sam Waldridge, after closing the gap, for third. Harrison, some nice consistency towards the end, saw him as nearly the fastest car on circuit. Sam was just slightly quicker. Aaron Sterrett has finished 2 laps down. Gapper has finished for the 3rd place in AMS, 22 laps now. Points are points, doesn't matter how you get them. And Chris Rock. And then Jurich will be the last one to come through, but by no means last. There we go. An hour of not much going on, but yeah, just a good race. So, oh, and there's the rain. We could have done with that. That would have spiced it up a bit. Right, there we go. Thank you all for watching. Join us next week. Have fun.